Piano-Play-It.com.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another free piano lesson by Piano-Play-It.com. This is David here, and today we're going to learn about tetrachords. And why are we going to learn about tetrachords? Well, that's easy. Two combinations of tetrachords will later create our first piano scales, so the major scale and the minor scale. We're going to deal with that later. But for now, let's see what a tetrachord is and how to create them on the piano. So a tetrachord is a series of notes having the pattern of a whole step, and a half step. The next important thing we should know about tetrachord is that the notes are always going in an alphabetical order. What does it mean? You never get two notes that are having the same letter. So for example, if you start with A, the next notes are going to be A, B, C, D. Alright? You're not gonna have A, B, C, C sharp, for example, because this is the same note, only it's augmented or diminished. You add a sharp or a flat to it. The next note after C must be a sort of a D note. So let's start with an easy tetrachord. We start with C. A, B, C, the next note has to be D. And indeed, between C and E, we have a whole tone, which is the first number in the formula. We have to have a whole step. Now we have to complete another whole step and a half step. So from D to E, which is the next letter in the alphabet, you have indeed another whole step, and now you must have another half step, and from E to F, you indeed have a half step. So C, D, E, F is the first tetrachord we learned. Let's go to F, for example. The next note has to be a sort of G, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And from F to G you indeed have a whole step. Next you have another whole step and you go to A indeed, so F, G, A. And the next note has to be a B note, right? F, G, A, B, because we're now back in the beginning of the alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So, but the thing is, between A and B we have a whole step, and we should have a half step, because the formula of the tetrachord is a whole step, and a half step. So how are we going to name this note? Well, I already told you it has to be a sort of a B note, so the thing we're going to do is name it B flat. Okay? So the tetrachord starting with F is F, G, A, and B flat. So we're not gonna name this note A sharp, because then A and A sharp are going to have the same letter in the alphabetical order, and we have to have the next letter. So F, G, A, and B flat. Alright? Now let's take a heavier one, for example G flat. So we start with G flat, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then we go back to A because it starts all over again. So the next note has to be a sort of A. But this is too far away. Half, one and a half, and we must have a whole step. So the next note is going to be named A flat. So G flat, A flat, another whole step, so B flat. And what would be the next note? Is it gonna be B? Because now we have to have a half step? No, because this is the same letter in the alphabetical order. So we have to name it a sort of a C note. C that is taken one note to the left is called C flat. So the tetrachord starting from G flat is basically G flat, A flat, B flat, and C flat, and not B as you might have thought it would be, because then it would have the same letters as B flat, and we don't want to say B flat and B, we have to say B flat and C flat to continue with the pattern of the alphabetical order. So now you know how to create the different tetrachords and how to name each note in the tetrachord correctly. So we saw that the tetrachord is a series of 4 notes built in an alphabetical order, and they always contain the formula of a whole step, and a half step. So if we start a tetrachord from the letter C, we know the next letters are gonna be C, D, E, and F. If we start from F, we know it's gonna be F, G, A, and B, because you go to F, G, and starting again from the alphabetic order, to A and B. Then we're going to place the formula of a whole step, half step in these letters and check out which letter has to be raised or lowered. So if you go from F, for example, you have F, a whole step to G, a whole step to A, and B flat, because there you have to have half a step. That's the nature of tetrachords. In the next piano lessons, we're going to see how two tetrachords create a major scale. Okay, so I hope to see you in the next piano lesson. Until then, bye guys. Piano-Play-It.com Piano-Play-It.com